Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking this time to watch the Dare to Dream Network. I've been doing a lot of serial blogging over the past day or so and posting several videos, and I have a lot of other content that I will be reforming from old interviews. um, Previously recorded live. I have new interviews in the next coming week or so that will be conducted live here on Hangouts. Um, but my purpose today for coming and creating this video is to talk about Tavis Smiley's book, How to Make Black America Better. And I thought it was, first of all, I've already had it planned to talk about this book and to share this book. And as of this moment, really all that I'm doing in this video is making this book aware to someone who may not have ever heard of it or has never read it or whatever the case may be. Um, I personally feel like it's a book worthwhile of a read. And if, um, I'm not even going to get into the whole support it because it's for Black people and all of that, and written by a Black person and written by several different notable Black voices, such as Ayanna Van Zant, Cornel West, Magic Johnson, Al Sharpton, Danny Glover, Elin Harris, who's no longer with us, rest in peace, Chuck D, and there are several others who are contributors to what became this book, such as Tom Joyner, Cynthia St. James, um, and those are just two names, but there are several other contributors in this book. It's a book worth reading. It's worthwhile. I'm still in the reading process. That's why I feel like part of it, me sharing this, is not completely fair because I haven't completed the book yet. And this is what it looks like: How to Make Black America Better. And I'm sure by now, because it's such an older book, you may find it with a different cover. So don't trip out if the cover is different or it has been changed. I'm sure it has gone through several printings um, of this book or edition, and it was first published in 2001. And here we are, maybe 15 years later, still having some of the same conversations in our community. And in light of what has happened in the 2016 shootings and recent events, it's very relevant for us to discuss these issues, talk about these issues, and not just discuss them and talk about them, but really start banding together and reforming our community and our people. And there are a lot of people out there protesting and doing things, and I'm gonna just be very honest with you. I am not for the protesting. Um, I make a joke often and I say this is not your grandmother's civil rights movement, that you have individuals who are willing to risk their lives in a way that the generation before us might not have done, or, there's just so much to be said. Um, I want to put it this way. I'm pretty neutral when it comes to protesting. I understand why people do it, and it could be effective if it were better organized. I probably said that in almost every video that you can come across with me discussing these issues or matters. However, What I really feel is going to be fruitful in our community is organizing leadership, people really coming to the forefront to lead, um, not with their personal agenda, because it is common in the American community that when certain individuals get into power, um, they're willing to do whatever what we like to accuse politicians of doing, listening to our concerns, taking assessment of our concerns and stuff, and then they're supposed to represent the people as a whole. But because in the American community, you find a lot of individuals who have been suppressed, oppressed, who have gone through so much. Um, when they do get a little position of power, they tend to, at some point, veer off from the original purpose and plan of what they set out to do. And so, having said that, um, I think this is a critical time in our history, in our community, and it's important for us to develop institutions. I've had these conversations with my business partner and my best friend that um, we are living in times where people have come against the church, um, have done everything to discredit the church, its leaders. You know, I always say church became imperfect soon as you became a part of it. So if you're looking for religious institutions to have perfect leadership and perfect people, there's no such thing. We all have sin in our life. We all have stuff that we do that is immoral or just not right. Period. Period. There's not one of us that can say that we are unblemished or, this well put together specimen or whatever. Um, and having said that, I really feel like the church has lost its savor, lost its flavor, lost its impact in the community. Um, and for the same reason that we are going through in the African American communities, almost borderline similar to what's happening in the church. You know, after you've been attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked, sometimes it's safer to be silent. That's how people feel, but it's not necessarily right. And so at times like this, when our country is going through and stuff, you expect, especially when you've been giving your money, your time, your energy to the religious community, you expect the church to come forward or step forward and be proactive in creating change and making an impact. And the church had built a reputation in this area and in these matters, being a part of civil rights movements and all types of things. Um, but we are a different type of people in this day. A lot of African American families are not as religious as they used to be. And people have moved away from that for several reasons. One, you have this uprise of the introduction of Muslim lifestyle and religion, and you have people that have just kind of moved away from faith altogether. They don't believe in God. They see so much hardship and stuff that they really question, is God real or whatever? And um, how could a God who created me want to kill me or um, not love me because of mistakes that I make and so forth and so on. And so people have come up with their ideas and theories as to whether he exists or not and what they choose to believe. And people love to quote that they are spiritual, but not of no particular faith origin You hear a lot of that stuff now, and I'm not going to get into the fray of all of that, but I will say this much. I don't care where you find yourself or whatever in this um, thing we call religion or not being non-religious. More importantly, as a community, we need leadership. We need people to come together. We need people to um, Congress and to discuss, plan, strategize, and execute. Not just come together to talk about the latest person who got shot, killed, or whatever, some other injustice that happened in our community. Um, Not just to sit around and talk about it or plan marches and stuff, excuse me, but we need to get to the stage of organizing within our communities and setting up systems within our communities that help to aid some of these problems that we face. And I'll put it this way, this is not in his book, but this is what I'm choosing to talk about because I see threads of things that I'm saying within the portion I've read so far. Um, but we have Black colleges, Black schools that we should be participating in and supporting and being a part of and attending. And a lot of people don't choose to go to historically Black colleges because um, they feel like they're going to miss something if they choose a Black historical college. They rather be in a multicultural, Americanized, quote, quote, um, college system. I'll put it to you this way. I believe in supporting Black historical colleges, but I also believe you need to be educated, period. So, however you choose that path, get it done. And one of the key things that I've gotten out of this book is the discussion of community and how it has to start with you as an individual, how you have to be the best person that you can be. You have to first help yourself in order to help others within your community. You have to get yourself to a place, work on yourself, um, whatever that means for you through education, through workforce, um, through finance, um, and all the while working on those things, being an active part of your family, being a support to your family. And I'm not just talking about general care. I'm talking about really being active and, like if you have siblings, little brothers, sisters, or nieces, nephews, and cousins, mentoring them, being a part of their lives, taking them off the street, turning off the TV, getting them away from a video game, and making education and other things that we do fun, you know, learning how to give that interaction and that exchange that is needed in our households and in our community, especially if you're dealing with brothers and sisters and cousins and so forth that are single parents. And that's where the Black men in the community come in, that, stepping up. Yeah, step up for your own, but also stepping up for um, all of your people. So those are some of the threads talked about that I've read so far. Um, when it pertains to our community getting better, I talked about we need to create our own systems and things. And if you would like to check out a previous or old interview that I did an interview with A.L. Cooper about a year ago, 2 years maybe now. Um, it's I believe it's called something on economics. See, I'm gonna have to just look that up on my phone because I go into talking about how the African American community can make improvements. Bear with me a second. Okay, the interview is called Economic Growth and Wealth Building. It's about a 28-minute interview, and I talk about some of the things I talked about in this video. So if you want to check that out, it's worthwhile of checking out. And trying to make sure that I'm covering everything. I want to end my thoughts with this. In order to rebuild our communities, make a better Black America, I personally feel like we need to learn economics, get involved with economics. We need to create our own businesses. And I'm not saying that there are not people out there doing it, but we also need to learn how to be a support system and support team to others. We need to build our own educational systems within our community and strengthen those that already exist. And if there are things that are lacking within those areas, reform them or create new programs. There's just so much abundance in this world as far as information is concerned, how to distribute and get things out there, that there's no excuse for some of the things that we face. And aside from that, I'm a big supporter of nonprofits. I run several nonprofits, small nonprofits that are just starting, that I'm working on and have been working on for a while. I'm a big supporter of nonprofits because it's a way of dealing with particular issues and getting funding that is needed when you go through the right legal channels of legitimizing your business and setting forth your goals and vision. So I believe that that's one way. There's just many answers, and a lot of us have dreams and visions about things that we can do, but it's really time to start doing them. And I'm going to end this video, but I'm encouraging you guys to get How to Make Black America Better. Get this in your arsenal. And I promise to come back and give a full review and assessment of my thoughts about the book and what I've read, and continue the conversation that we just started today. But what I've read so far has been good. I just would like to complete my reading before giving more in-depth thought and what have you. So I pray I didn't bore you guys, but I just had to share that and give that piece on what I'm thinking. So I pray that this video has blessed somebody. Please share it. Share it. If you run a network, feel free to download it and repost and share. Follow me on social media, Dr. Michael McCain. Just Google me. You'll find everything that you need to know about me. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So connect with me there. All right, you guys. And until the next video, peace.